this, guys? UFC 312 right around the corner, and it's a real pleasure and honor actually to speak to this man for the first time on the program. You know him from being the Hex Bantamweight champion. He's repping freestyle MMA and now about to take the world as he prepares to make his UFC debut against Ilia Topuria's brother, Aleksandre Topuria. Colby Thicknesse, welcome to Submission Radio, man. I appreciate you. In the middle of a move? Is there a move
correct.
happening? No way.
Yes, yeah. I'm
It's all
moving
happening.
out tomorrow, actually. So yeah, it's all happening. It's been a wild sort of 3-4 days that have been going on. There's a lot going on, a lot of legit moving pieces, but everything's coming together nicely.
Yeah, moving pieces quite literally. Where are we moving?
Yeah.
We got a nice new place. What's going on?
Yeah, so just my partner's moving up from Melbourne with me. So just leaving a fan, moving a little bit further away from the gym, but still like 25 minutes away up to a nice area. Got some mountains and things like that. So it's good to have that contrast between always at the gym, then you can get out in nature. So I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Moving from Melbourne. Sounds like something I want to do. Man, Melbourne. Pain in the
I don't
ass.
blame you with the weather down there.
Yeah, the weather and other factors. All right, so, hey, UFC 312, man. Congratulations. Talk me through this. How did this all happen? For people that don't realize, Cody had to pull out. I think he had like a broken foot or something. Talk me through the whole process of when you found out this could be a possibility and how did it all come together?
So we sort of knew this may have been a possibility since the fight got announced, purely because I was the #1 bantamweight in Australia after Cody got signed. And then realistically, if they had a bantamweight fight on in Sydney, it'd be silly not to be prepared. So I've been in camp this whole time for the fight in case something like this happened. But I was actually working a security shift Saturday night, listening to the Hottest 100. And then I think it was Ilia's manager messaged me on Instagram asking me for my WhatsApp details. I was like, oh, this is pretty sus. And then gave him my number. He rung me. 5 minutes later, I'm on the phone to Joe and Volk whilst they're over with Izzy in New Zealand. Finished my shift at like 10 p.m. Went home, went to bed, woke up Sunday morning with a text like, hey, you're in. So it all came around pretty quick.
What security are you doing? Are you a security guard at the strip club? What is this security job that I'm hearing about?
So I've been in security since I was 18. I used to do clubs and pubs and everything like that. But this shift I was doing was just watching a job site for 10 hours, like a school that's gotten broken into and got graffiti and that. So it's nothing too exciting, this one, sadly.
Okay, gotcha. That explains the mustache. You know, you got that security, like no one's coming into the building site. All right. So, wow, that's pretty incredible, man. You get a message from the manager. What's going through your head as this is all happening? I mean, you're doing this crazy shift where you're trying to stop these people from stealing things from the school. What's happening in your mind as everything's percolating? Because I know, you did say to the Australian MMA podcast, you were getting ready just in case.
Yeah, correct. It was more just as soon as I got the message, he said, hey, how are you? I have an opportunity. I was like, please tell me this is what I think it is. And then it was just Saturday night was pretty sleepless because I was very excited and just how everything played out. I was fairly confident it was going to go through. So there was a lot of just excitement on my part. Obviously, the nerves are going to come and everything, but like I've been training the past 20 years of my life for an opportunity like this. So I'm very excited to just go out there and take it.
Is there a better debut for you than going out here against Ilia Topuria's brother and be able to, potentially beat him in front of an Australian crowd? Is there a better scenario in your mind for a UFC debut?
No, this is like perfect storybook. I think this is one of the most hyped like double debut UFC fights they'll have, especially just with the narrative behind it. So I'm going to have Volk, Joe, and Craig Jones in my corner. I know he's going to have Ilia. I think they might have said something about Merab and his coach. So even just having like Volk and Ilia facing off as I'm facing off against his brother, the whole fight week and everything's just going to be a really cool vibe I'm looking forward to.
Obviously, people are going to be talking about the fact, there's a bit of a rivalry between your team and Ilia's. Alex is, looks like he's going to rematch Ilia in Miami. How do you keep yourself focused on the task at hand? Because I imagine there's going to be not emotion going in here, but you want to kind of, a part of you would want to avenge, right? What happened to your teammate and close mentor and Volk.
Yeah. So I'm very good at separating fighting from my emotions. So obviously during the week and everything, I let myself enjoy all the excitement, the nerves, the everything that comes with it, even the lows of a weight cut and everything like that. But when I get in there to fight, I'm very good at just switching that part of my brain off, and it doesn't matter. Like, all I'm in there to do for the next 15 minutes is win this fight however I can win it, and that's pretty much all I think about. So as I'm walking out, I'm very present, I'm enjoying it all, but as soon as that cage door shuts behind me, I'm just purely focused on my objective to win the fight.
What do you think of Aleksandre Topuria anyway? Obviously, he's making his debut as well. He's had that one loss that's kind of circulated the internet. He's had some dominant wins as well. What do you think of him?
I think he's a skilled fighter. It's just hard to judge his ceiling because he hasn't fought guys which can test him. So obviously he had his early career, had the loss, had the break, and he's come back now. I don't think he's ever made the weight division, so I assume he's going to do a pretty big cut. Besides that, skill-wise, he fights a lot like his brother. I don't think he's as heavy in his hands as Ilia. He looks for the grapple a little bit more. But like I said, big thing is he hasn't fought anybody of super reasonable competitions. I haven't seen him tested, haven't seen how he looks when he's put on the back foot, how his takedowns don't work, how if he doesn't get his first takedown, you can scramble, you can try and attack him, how he's going when we're in the second and third round. So I'm very keen just to go out there, take him deep waters and just see what he's really made of.
I actually laughed because I was listening to a podcast, I think it might have been with you and the Who the Fuck guys, and you were mentioning that in the past you've had a little bit of trouble getting going in the first round. I think you referred to yourself as a notoriously slow starter.
Yes.
But in the same vein, when I watch your fights, because I'm a fan of yours, I feel like you're also feeling out your opponents. Like, I feel like you're taking your time and you don't want to rush into something, and you're sort of formulating a game plan like a lot of other great fighters, like a Floyd Mayweather, for example, a lot of other great fighters. When it comes to this matchup here, are you looking to sort of take your time, build out your case, and do the same thing? Or is it a situation where you don't want to sort of idle for too long in the first round against someone like Aleksandre?
You definitely don't want to idle too long in the first round, but you can't obviously go out there and start throwing level with guys who are dangerous punchers and that. So we've got a good game plan. I'm very ready to come out there, be offensive, but be defensively aware as I'm doing that. So I'm getting my reads and I'm slowly going to open up my attacks after that. So I'm just going to meet in the middle and start throwing, but it's not like I'm going to take a couple of minutes to get to work. I'm going to be throwing things out there from the start, getting my reads, and as soon as I start getting my reads and I start picking my openings, it's just going to sort of snowball on from there.
You're focused on the task at hand, and you've had heaps of experience. For people that don't know about you, they need to go on YouTube. You've been fighting all over the world. You've just really been able to build up that experience of fighting in Asia. Let me ask you, are you prepared for potentially Topuria to try and get into your head and, all the narratives happening fight week, all the media asking you about this rivalry, I imagine much like his brother, he's going to be trying to talk trash to you and get into your head throughout the week. Are you prepared for all that? And are you anticipating that to be happening?
I don't really know if I'm anticipating it. If it comes, I'm more than happy to deal with it when it comes. But as for being ready, I've been under Joe Lopez since I was 13. So if anybody knows Joe or they're listening to this, they know what it's like in the gym. So I don't think there's anything that anybody in this world can say to me that I haven't heard from Joe. So it's a very good sort of ball-busting community in the gym, if that makes sense. So there's lots of digs at each other. So there's nothing really that I haven't seen or heard or anything like that. So I'm very good at just taking things in my stride and biting back if I need to.
All right, guys, it's time for a new year and a new you, thanks to our friends at MANSCAPED. Have you sorted all the best products to get you looking good downstairs and all over your body in 2025? Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by MANSCAPED is your secret weapon for stepping into 2025 sharp, clean, and confident. Don't be the guy that rolls into January looking like you just emerged from hibernation. Let the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 handle your overgrowth so you can focus on leveling up. Start 2025 with precision, because the only thing that should be growing this year is your success and not your scruff. Join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use the code word submission now. Keep this show going. Get 20% off and free shipping today. Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the all-in-one grooming kit. Of course, I mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the best tool you could have. It also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, full aftercare, which helps you treat yourself right with the crop soother and the crop preserver, keeps you fresh and comfortable and confident so you're always ready to move forward. And you get some free gift. Kick off the year with a bonus that elevates your routine, the Boxers 2.0, which I love to wear. They're one of the most comfortable boxers you can wear. And the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, which I take with me everywhere I go. Manscaped has a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, so you can try it risk-free right now. Use the code word submission. Go right now, 20% off and free shipping. And I just want to talk to you guys about SAILY as well. SAILY is an unbelievable app that's going to change the game forever when it comes to travel, and you want to be covered with your phone. Forget lining up at airports and having to get a new SIM, taking your SIM out, keeping it in a little baggie, making sure you don't lose it. Forget all of that. SAILY has you sorted. All you got to do is download the app, choose the amount that you want to spend, what country you want to go to, and boom, like that, you are sorted. I just went to New Zealand. I was absolutely covered. I didn't want to spend the $10 or $20 or $30 a day that I was going to have to spend because of my provider. I put in an amount. It had me covered the entire time, and I even still have data left over because it was so smooth and easy. One of the things I love about SAILY as well that you may not realize is it actually comes with an ad blocker. So if you are watching videos or doing stuff on the internet, why waste your data on ads? The ad blocker has you sorted, and it comes with web protection as well. You know, malware on your device is the last thing you need on your travels, and SAILY gets you sorted and protected too. So why not jump on right now, use the code word submission, get 15% off. All you gotta do is download the app, choose your destination, where you wanna go, the amount of money you wanna spend, activate it on your phone without having to take out your SIM card, without having to line up at airports, without having to re-sign different documents. SAILY has you sorted, whether you need a little bit of data or a lot of data, whatever your plan is, SAILY has you covered wherever you go in the world. Go on right now, check out the app. It's the most seamless and easiest process when it comes to travel eSIMs that you can experience. Use the code word submission, 15% off. Jump on right now. What are you waiting for? Grab your SAILY today. If you're traveling tomorrow, next month, get it sorted today. Use the code word submission while it's still active. It's 15% off. SAILY.com/submission gets you sorted. Try it today, whether it's a lot of data, small amount of data, SAILY has you sorted. Easy, seamless, highly recommended. Now back to the program. Joe throws out a few jabs here and there.
Oh, mate, Joe loves it. I tell people when I'm working, I'm like, mate, I get more insulted from you, more insulted from a head coach who's a 60-year-old man on a Monday morning than I do when I'm dealing with drunk people working security. It's great. It's like just mental fortitude training for you.
Yeah, by the way, Joe with a security background too, and I think working security is good for that too, because you deal with a lot of dickheads throughout the night. Let me bring this post up in front of you, and I want you to talk me through this. He just posted this just today, a photo of you and Volk, 2013 BJJ Nationals. Here you are on the right, classic photo. Of course, this is before Volk sets out to take over the world himself. What do you remember about this moment, and why was this the early on photo that you wanted to share with everyone? Obviously, it's a scroll, and I'll share the next photo in a sec.
I think that was my second ever jiu-jitsu comp. The reason that one's a good photo is obviously me and Volk were in it together. And in my first jiu-jitsu comp, I got disqualified for Slammer kits. That was the first time I actually ever properly competed in jiu-jitsu. And I got second at Nationals. Volk won that. Funny thing, I think Volk was like under 77 or under 80 kilos or something at that stage. So he was on top of the podium, but the two people next to him were second and third are still taller than him, even though they have a height difference. So get a photo of that. That's pretty funny, but it's just cool. Like I would have been 12, 13 in that photo. I think Volk just came off his first pro loss to Corey Nelson at that stage. And it was pretty much just like two, like obviously he was older, but just two guys having a crack and just at different stages of their career.
I love it as well because you followed that up with this photo here.
Yes.
Difference. Let's go. Here you guys are. Obviously, you're his main training partner. Talk me a little bit through, like, what is it about this relationship between you and Volk that's so special? Because we don't see many people train together for as long as you guys have. He seems like he's been sort of a mentor and someone that's been in your corner for a really long time from a young age.
I think it's just that. So I walked into freestyle when I was 13 under Joe. So Volk was 2-0 at that stage. And then it was just, I just kept training. I always knew I wanted to be a professional fighter. And Volk was on that path. So I always looked up to him for that. And then as I just got further along in my journey, and as soon as I left high school, I was able to start training full time as well as working. And then it was just purely most of the morning sessions before Volk made it, it would be me, Volk and Joe would just sit on a chair and then just coach me and Volk. So we just had that relationship of just grinding day in, day out for years before he made it, before I've had my chance to make it. And it's just sort of backing each other and believing that we can both get where we want to get to in the sport.
What are you anticipating from the fight night? Obviously, you're going to be focused on Ilia's brother, and it's going to be the huge crowd, but also having Volk in your corner while Ilia's in his brother's corner. Have you envisioned what that's even going to be like? That's going to be pretty wild.
Oh, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be very intense. It's going to be a cool moment. I'm not trying to think too much about that. Like you said, I'm just focusing on myself, but I'm even just thinking like people back home watching it, it's going to be cool because you're going to see, like I said, Joe, Craig, Volk in my corner, me in the middle. Then you got Ilia's brother I'm fighting, and then you got his coach and his team, and they're going to give angles of them like looking at each other across the cage. So it's going to be a pretty cool moment to be a part of.
So you said maybe Merab might be in the corner. Which would be interesting because you're like the new guy coming into the bantamweight division, and Merab looking potentially at a contender down the track, right? Which is another part of the story.
Yeah, so I know he's going to be in Australia for it. I think I heard somewhere he might be in the corner, but that's not confirmed or anything like that. I hope he is. That'll be cool. Have like your first fight against two champions in the corner is probably something that hasn't really been done before. So that'd be a cool thing to do.
Don't you think that this needs to be on the pay-per-view, no? I feel like
I feel like it's narrative-wise and that, like it's building itself. Like it's only really got announced properly this morning, and it's already taken off. The story sort of writes itself. So I think it would be great if it could be, but obviously I don't have the powers to make that decision.
Hey, just quickly, before we talk about the bantamweight division, how do you think this rematch goes between Volk and Ilia? Because obviously that first one, we saw it didn't go Volk's way, but this is going to be 100% Volk after the big break. How different do you think it looks, and how do you think it goes?
I think it's going to look very different. I think we're going to see vintage Volk come back. Like he's had that year off, but he's been training, he's been fit the whole time. I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna do one of them show out performances where it's gonna be Volk Holloway 3-esque, where he comes out and he just shows like on his day there's no one that can touch him, no one that can beat him. So I'm very confident in that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Volk actually puts him away this time.
Let me ask you this, man, the bantamweight division. Crazy competition right now in the bantamweight division. What are the toughest divisions? What is your take on the landscape of the bantamweight division as it is? We've got Merab as the champion. He might likely be in the corner against you, but then also you've got, your Sean O'Malley's, Piotr Jan's in there, Corey Sanhagen's floating around. What is your take on the division as it stands right now?
I think it's one of the most exciting divisions in the sport, and I'm very happy I'm lucky enough to fight it this way because I do this because I want to test myself against the best guys in the world, and just knowing how many different stylistic matchups there are, from like the champ who has the most ridiculous gas tank we've ever seen in MMA to someone like Sean O'Malley who's got some of the best slick striking, to Uma, to like you said, Jan, and just there's so many good guys in that division. So I really just want to get this fight done, get the win, and then slowly work my way up and then test myself against the best guys in the world.
You think Merab is still going to be the champ by the time you reach contender status?
Stylistically, I think it's just Father Time remains undefeated. But stylistically, like I thought O'Malley was going to be his hardest matchup, and then he went out, did that. I was more confident against Uma. He could get it done just with his pace and his wrestling. But I think as long as he doesn't slow down, he stays fit and healthy, I reckon he's going to be champ for a while.
Man, there's so many great fights for you. For people that haven't seen Colby fight, make sure to go on YouTube. You push the action. You're always in people's face, and people are going to be very excited to have you in the division. As we wrap things up, man, how do you see this fight going? Like when you predict how this plays out, is there a specific way that you see yourself beating Topuria?
I see him. He's going to come forward early. He's going to try and look to pressure me up against the cage and try and big hooks, big overhands, hit my body or shoot him for the legs. And I'm prepared for everything. I think if there's a finish, it's going to be in the later rounds, but I think we're both tough. We're both pretty durable, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's go to the decision, but I definitely see him slowing down and me staying fresh. I'm going to pick him off with my shots.
Well, dude, I can't wait. I think this card is much more exciting with you on it. I'm so excited for you to have your opportunity. I know you've been working hard. Congratulations, and I'll see you in Sydney. Can't wait to see you in person and watch you do your thing.
Legend, thank you much for having me on.